Hello, everyone. I thought for the end of the year, I would do a book haul of some of the books I bought. Half of them were for my world religions class that I taught for the first time on campus at a university. I would say it went somewhat well. I did have, I would say, some challenges, but I won't go into that just because, just keeping it positive. Um, Anyway, so I don't know if I will teach that class on campus again, at least at the university, because my one of my deans said that I need to be available to my full-time job from 8 to 5, which I get, that's fine. So I will probably just teach it online unless my community college, or it's really a state college now, lets me teach it a religion class on campus. So, but there are not very many religious class or religion classes on campus, and they usually all just go to people that are more senior than me in that department because I'm technically an adjunct in that department, even though I'm full-time in another department at my college. I don't know. So it's just, it is what it is. But that is the state of affairs. So, most recently, I bought this book of Rumi's poetry. I have had this text before, but there have been a couple of times where I had to just completely get rid of all of my books for various, like, usually like European moves, etc., um, or other reasons. One time I was living back with my parents, and I had all my books, and my mom was just very critical of all of the like feminist books I had, and she just didn't like anything that wasn't Christian. So I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna sell these books," but totally got taken advantage of by someone who was like reselling books. I don't know. It's bad. Memory for me, but I tend to rebuy the books that I used to have that I love. Anyway, so I bought this book for when we were discussing Islam. I found a digital copy online and gave some pages to my students, but I really like Rumi, so right now this is the only Rumi book that I own. He's like a Sufi poet, and he writes a lot about, I mean, he's a mystic, so he writes about direct experience with the divine and also union with the divine. And he also had this friend who ended up disappearing that he seemed like he had deep affection for, at least, is putting it conservatively. And he writes a lot of poems about like longing and loss, I guess. So for my week in Buddhism, I bought What the Buddha Taught. I didn't get to read a lot of this. A lot of these books I actually just bought because I was feeling like I needed to bolster my knowledge on each of these religions. And I also wanted to be very inspired, so I would feel passionate about each of them. This seems like a really good one to me. It says the author um, was a Buddhist monk and scholar and received traditional monastic training and education from Sri Lanka. I think a lot of people know about this book and like it, although there is some criticism about, I guess, maybe the bias. Sometimes people can get um, unnecessarily dogmatic about these religions, even though they're living and evolving. And really, they're supposed to help us be more compassionate and empathic, but some people take a different route to that. So for my week in Confucianism, I bought Confucius from the Heart by Yu Dan, and I did a video on this. I have read, I think I read about almost half of it, maybe, but I found it very inspiring, and I think it would be a really good book for anyone who's interested in Confucianism. This book is also criticized, and she is as well, but I mean, like, I don't know. I can't help those people in all honesty. I think the criticism is that she takes maybe like the politics out of Confucianism. I think she might like focus on like personal ethics and like inner spirituality, but I think most modern people would really vibe with that. So I think it's if you are interested in Confucianism, like for a spiritual like application, then this is the book for you. And it's so pretty. This book I did not get to read at all, but this is the I Ching. It's a book and a practice of divination, and it has a foreword by Carl Jung. So definitely going to read that maybe during winter break. I'm so excited. I just want to read everything of Jung. Jung is my obsession. I really need to carve more time out for the thinkers and the writers that I really, really love. Like I always say that Heidegger is my favorite philosopher, but I just like never after like an initial like independent study that I was able to do. And when I had like a lot more time during the pandemic, sorry, that's like the wind outside. It's like so noisy if you heard that. My door, I guess my glass door singing. Um, but yeah, but I haven't necessarily read him in almost like maybe 2 years or something, just because I feel like there's always things that I need to read for like classes and prep for lectures. And so or I'm just doing like a new independent study. Like last summer, I did an independent study on Carl Jung, which I loved. And the summer before, because I met someone who was going to do like Twitter spaces with me for a while, I think we did like four, and he was interested in the existentialists. And so I did an independent study on Jean-Paul Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir. Not really Simone de Beauvoir's work, but I picked up a couple of like books of correspondence. So yeah, so I'm excited about this. I always take the dust jacket off like immediately because I think like what's more beautiful than this, right? This is a book that I think probably a lot, and an author that I think a lot of people will know, especially if you're into Taoism at all, like in the contemporary age. This is one of Thomas Cleary's books, Taoist Meditations, Methods for Cultivating a Healthy Mind and Body. So I, yeah, I think that this is, I'm just looking at it. It says translated and compiled by Thomas Cleary. So, yeah, I don't know. It says, okay, so it contains selections from various texts. Anthology on the Cultivation of Realization, Treatise on Sitting, Forgetting, Sayings of Taoist Master Dan Yang, The Secret Writings on the Mechanisms of Nature. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't actually know that. I thought it was just like his book. Um, so yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Maybe he's more of a translator. So this is the 5 Confucian classics. I would recommend any of these books because I don't know if I said that. I did do my research. I kind of started this video a couple of times. So it has like a hefty introduction, which I feel like is always helpful if you're learning about a religion. So I also got the 4 books, the basic teachings of the later Confucian tradition. So yeah, I thought this was really interesting to have. And then I have this book of the Taoist classics, also translated by Thomas Cleary. So I didn't actually realize that I got 2 books, but I think his translations are like very well loved. So this has vitality, energy, and spirit, or vitality, energy, spirit. It also has The Secret of the Golden Flower, also Immortal Sisters, Secrets of Taoist Women, and Awakening to the Tao. I think that okay, yeah, this is volume 3. I think there might be like 4 volumes. I just got this one because I thought it seemed the most interesting. And then lastly, for my world religions class, I got this book, the Jewish Study Bible. I will admit that in past semesters of teaching world religions online, I think, yeah, I was using just my Oxford annotated Bible for like, and I used like the Old Testament, but I figured if I wanted to be like a more legit scholar of religious studies, teaching Judaism, at least for like a week or one day out of the semester, then I should actually use the Jewish Bible. Um, so yeah, so that's basically it. And then now to the books that I just bought for myself. But I have not read any of these. So I don't know if I mentioned this. I think I did, that I'm filming this, even though this is going to go out at the end of the year, I'm filming this at the end of October. So there will be more books that I actually will buy. So I don't know if I'm going to make a video on that, but I think I'm finished at this point buying more books for a specific class, which can be very expensive and sort of, I don't know, I would say, what's the word? Um, Less than desirable, just because I just really always want to buy the books I want to buy. So, and these were just some, I don't know, I feel like some of these were impulsive. So, um, yeah, so I bought these four books by, what's her name? Rhonda Bryn. Um, I know that I am so late to the game on The Secret. I have not read it as of yet, this moment in time, but people just like love her books, and I'm kind of into like affirmations and manifesting and being of a high vibe and seeing how like I can change what I'm projecting onto the world to be more positive and just like synchronicities and everything. So, I mean, all of that's really been working for me. So that's why I'm into it, because it's kind of tried and true with experimenting with it. So I don't know when I'm going to read these, but maybe I'll start during winter break. But anyway, it's the magic, the secret, the power, and hero. The magic is not in like a hardcover. So that is sad and weird, because isn't the magic like the oldest one, like the earliest one, the first book that she read? This is the book that I'm so, so excited about. And I've mentioned it a couple of times through like, I don't know, maybe like a YouTube picture post or something, but this is Inner Work by Robert A. Johnson, using dreams and active imagination for personal growth, because I'm so interested in doing my own inner work and using my dreams to do that. I think it's like such a helpful way. And it's just wild that I didn't understand before that my subconscious is actually trying to speak to me and help me integrate and heal past wounds by like dreams are meaningful. Like I would always think, oh, no one knows the reason for dreams. Some people do. So this book I am super excited about. I'm actually going to set it aside so I don't forget about it. This is the book that I very recently bought. I was just led to buy a book of angels, and I specifically asked to be led to the right one, and this was the one that I was led to. So I don't know. It's by Sophie Burnham. It's a New York Times bestseller. Reflections on angels, past and present, the true stories of how they touch our lives. So it seems. Let's see. Okay. Sophie Burnham did not grow up believing in angels, but when she was 28, an angel miraculously saved her life. Yeah, so it's someone who seems to have, personal experience. Oh, it looks like maybe just a lot of people know about her. I don't know. I haven't heard of her until I found that book. This is a book that I think I bought actually a while ago, the Hermetica. I've always wanted to buy a copy. This is by Cambridge University. And I don't know, I think that a lot of it is notes and an introduction. So I think the actual text might be just like roughly like that much of the book, but that's okay. And then I found these books when I was searching for the I Ching. So I think that it has something to do with the I Ching, maybe Maybe it's like an interpretation of it, or maybe it has not, maybe I'm wrong and it has nothing to do with it. But I have these called the Gene Keys, and so I got this one, which seems to be like, I don't know, have a lot of information. And then there are four books, although I can't find one of them, but I only got two. I got Genius first, and then I was like, well, my end of 2024 is all about focusing on love and opening my heart chakra. So I got this as well. And then the last book, since I finished Zohar Volume 1 earlier, I think maybe during the summer when I was like actually reading and finishing books. So I got Volume 2. So I'm super excited about this. I do, if I'm going to buy any more books for the year, which I will, I think I'm actually getting paid today, so I will probably make an order on like Jungian dream interpretation. I think it would be I will buy books on Jung. So I only have three books like of the collected volume, the collected works, three volumes of the collected works of Jung. So I'd like to add to my collection, but I have two. I've only read one, and so I have two that I want to finish, and so that's good for me. And then just I usually don't like reading commentary, like secondary sources, but I think for learning about dream interpretation, I just haven't found enough in Jung's works to apply to my life in a way maybe that I can really digest it. And so I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for me to get into some kind of secondary literature or literature that was like inspired by Jung. So I'm going to do that. And then also because I just really love the Zohar and Kabbalistic writings, I would like to buy more books about that. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Too many books that I bought that I was intending to read and just haven't. It's kind of embarrassing for me. But someone said, I can't remember who this was. I just saw like a little meme or something that said a library without unread books is like, I don't know. I don't know what the word was, but like you should have a library of unread books because that's like a magical, wonderful thing. And it does bring me happiness because I know that there are books on my shelf that I will really enjoy and I'm going to be excited to read. Um, yeah, so that's it. Let me know if you have what your opinion of this haul is, if you've read any of these books, if you have any book recommendations for me. But yeah, I think that's it. And I don't know like how beloved book haul videos are, but I like them for myself just to kind of keep a journal or a diary of where I am in any particular year, the books that I'm collecting, and I guess just what's on my mind and what's important. So that's it. This video I know is going out at the end of the year, so please have a Merry Christmas if this video might be after Christmas. Definitely please have a wonderful new year. It'll be really interesting to see what 2025 has in store for all of us. And yeah, so I will, I guess, see you next year. Bye, everyone.